Bill O'Reilly had Maria Bartiromo on his show, and they decided to talk a little bit about income inequality and gender politics and the war on women. And not surprisingly, they don't think it's real. Listen to these clowns.
So I want you to react, Maria, to this statement from President Obama.
Today, women make up about half our workforce, but they still make 77 cents for every dollar a man earns. That is wrong. And in 2014, it's an embarrassment. Women deserve equal pay for equal work.
All right, we analyze the 77 cents business, or 77%, whatever it is. It's about 90% when you factor in all of the experience levels and all of that. And you say?
Well, I think it's very difficult to really know the truth. Is it 77, 87, 90? But certainly I agree that if we're not talking about equal pay, that's an embarrassment in 2014. I mean, pay should be based on performance, whether it's a man or a woman.
Okay, but there are many factors such as union membership. In a union, you're guaranteed wages. Many more men than women. All right?
That's true.
You've got to assume that, and that which drives the wages up. I'm not buying this inequality business. I'm not. And you know why? Because if you're not being treated equally in the workplace, you can sue the bejesus out of the business. And there is an industry to do that, and they do. So employers are fearful of doing anything that might be considered unfair to women. But here's the deal. The Democratic Party is embracing this whole women are not equal concept, and we, the Democrats, are going to fix that. To me, it's a political deal, not a reality deal. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right, Bill. I think it is all politics. I mean, for the last 5 years, we've been hearing that the GOP is against women and trying to keep women down. It's just not true. And I think that, unfortunately, the whole topic and this line that, you know, women are served better under one party or another, I think it's not true. But frankly, it has worked for the Democrats. It's working.
Yes, it's absolutely worked. There's no doubt about it. Propaganda works everywhere. If it's slick enough and it's presented enough, propaganda works.
You would know, wouldn't you, Bill? Ha! That's so ironic, man. But here are the facts. Number one, women do make 77 cents to a man's dollar. Now, when you're talking about for the same work, O'Reilly is right in the sense that it becomes about 90 cents to a man's dollar, okay? But he brushes that aside as if that's not a problem. No, that adds up. That adds up. That 90 cents to a dollar thing, that is a problem and we should address it. Okay. Now, why do we say that there's a Republican war on women? Well, we could talk about it all day long, but that's not going to do anything and that's not going to mean anything. So why don't we go ahead and look at the evidence? And what is the evidence? It is the voting record. Let's look at how the Republicans voted and the Democrats voted on issues that affect women. So the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, this is one example of a bill that made it easier for women to sue if there is a pay discrepancy. Okay, and a court had told Lilly Ledbetter that she waited too long to sue when she didn't know that her male counterparts were getting paid more for the same work than she was. So this bill comes along, and again, it makes it easier for her to sue in that situation and right the wrong. Well, every single Democrat voted for that bill, and only 7 Republicans voted for it. The rest voted against it. Okay, we're not anywhere near done. The Paycheck Fairness Act. That's a bill that had larger penalties for employers who discriminate. It created more transparency of salaries so that women know whether they were being paid less or not. And it protected those who sue for pay equity. That bill was filibustered by the Republicans. When people say there's a war on women, this is the kind of stuff they're referring to. The Republicans also voted for women to pay more for health insurance, and their reasoning was, because they get pregnant, we don't get pregnant. Hello? Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, you do play a part in that, don't you? And also, that's the idea of insurance. You spread the risk around. You're not supposed to make individuals pay more even if they use the system more. Again, that's the idea of insurance. But we're still not done yet. All of the senators that voted against the Violence Against Women Act were Republican men. They defeated it once. They defeated it. And the Democrats had to bring it up again for a vote. And why were the Republicans against it in the first place? They didn't want to protect LGBT women or immigrant women or Native American women. Again, when we talk about a war on women, this is what we're referring to. Republicans also want your boss to be able to tell you that you can't take birth control. You know how they always complain? Oh, Obamacare is going to make so that the government gets in between you and your doctor. Wrong, but you do want the business owner to get in between a woman and her doctor. This is a war on women. How about over the past 3 years, red states have enacted 205 laws on women's private parts. Wow, all of those are restrictions on reproductive rights. There's your war on women, Bill and Maria. Sell out. It's incredible. I don't care about your speculation. I don't care about your opinion. I don't care about what you think on this issue. That's all nonsense. I care about the record. I care about the information. I care about the facts. I care about how you voted. And clearly the Republicans have voted in a way that is anti-woman.